If you're not outside getting some of this sun on your face, I highly recommend that you do so. It'll change your attitude. Hey, Black History 101. If you ever wanted to learn about you, meaning your history, your black civilization legacy, if you wanted to learn anything about that, I highly recommend that you watch this video, Black 101. And the very first book that I would recommend any person, I don't care if you're black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, if you want to know about black history and what happened to black people, I highly recommend that you read the book entitled The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. In fact about it, we're doing an audio book on this page, on the upload. Yeah, we're halfway through with that series. So if you haven't watched that audio book entitled The Destruction of Black Civilization that we're currently doing, and tomorrow we will have part 5 up, and part 6 and 7 will be up on Saturday. Dig that. We're trying to finish the book. But needless to say, the audio book that we're doing, The Destruction of Black Civilization, this book tells you flat out, and it's not even a book. It's once you start doing a number of things of research, but this is the first book, because with this book, you don't have to worry about religion. You can throw your religion in the garbage can when you start reading about black history. You have to forget whatever your religion is. Because we know, even in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, they had religion too, but we know that religion was for the control of the masses, and they used religion back in ancient Kemet for the same purpose, okay? So no difference today than it was yesterday. Number 2, you will have to read The Destruction of Black Civilization as a Black History 101 book or course to take for you, because it gives you a breakdown of what happened and how we were invaded on all 4 sides of the seacoast. From Asians, some call them, from the Jews, from the Greeks, from the Romans, Assyrians, Persians, Arabs. We fought these people all the time in Africa. We fought these people all the time, the people that I just told you about. Every year, for thousands of years, we've been fighting these people. But finally, the Arabs came in with the Islam. You see how you got Islam now? Because the Arabs conquered Africa. At least stronghold points like Egypt. Because Egypt originally is called Kim. Some call it Kemet. But that is a part of Africa. Don't let them fool you. And don't miseducate your own self. Egypt is a part of Africa, aka Kemet. When the Arabs invaded Kemet, that was the remaining history to be wiped out of black civilization. Black history, black legacy has been blotted out so much that it has almost been forgotten. And black people are the only people on this planet who is confused about their identity. They don't want to be Africans. They want to be Afro-Americans. They want to be Hebrews. They want to be Muslims. They want to be black Jews. They want to be Christians. When you understand the conquerorship that your people went through, the name changes that took place, the empires that were destroyed through conquerorship, through the Arabs, through the Grecians, through the Assyrians, through the Persians, through the Romans, through the Hyksos, all of these people took all of your land, all of them, way before the Conference of Berlin even started. Okay? Thousands of years before the Conference of Berlin was even in existence. All of your history and your legacy was taken away from you. Taken away and blotted out. And you became someone else. You became whatever the conqueror was, unless you were one of those Sudanese who withstood all of that which they did and just remained in the region to themselves. If you understand the map of Africa, and when you look at northern east part of that map, you will find Kemet, Egypt. All of that was a stronghold point, one of the richest places in Africa. Civilization, commerce, trade. The Nile, the River Nile, right there. Import, export, pyramids. We had it all. They don't teach you about this in school. They don't teach you how Africa was invaded by all of these people. They don't teach you that. And they're not going to teach you that. But if you read that book, or you listen to the audio book that I've done, I'm just a narrator in this, meaning that I'm reading the book, but Chancellor Williams wrote the book. I don't know how many years, 16 years of research that man did. I've been researching like that, but I haven't been over to Africa. Not yet. I haven't been over there, but he's been over there. He's a master teacher, so I dare argue with him because I do check out what he check out, that which I can. So that I can say, damn, that's really real. Or I can see how he got to that conclusion. The same way all of these other master teachers like John Henry Clark and Dr. Benjo Harkonnen and Ivan Sertima. Yeah. Walter Williams. If you all are not familiar with who Walter Williams is, go check out some of his material. But when you understand what happened to you, you'll be amazed. It'll make you cry. It'll make you angry. But what is most important that I found out through my research, years of research, especially this year, we were destroyed because we were too friendly. And we did not prepare ourselves with the material that we had under our feet that would defend us. And that which was up under our feet was iron, swords, shields, iron shields, cannons, bullets. And that we could have developed, but we never did. Why? Because we didn't have no use for those weapons of war, because we wasn't trying to take nobody's land. In fact about it, black people are the originators of this earth, and we've never taken anything from anybody. Not they land, not they women. If we did, it was ours because we had wars among ourselves in Africa. But never did we go to a foreign land and try to take what they had. because we didn't want what they had. We was quite satisfied living the life that we was living, but everybody wanted what we had. They not only wanted what we had, they wanted us. They wanted our minds, our spirits, our souls, our women, our children, our land, our history. They wanted it all for themselves. And in the course of history, they really tried to blot out us and put them in. Yeah, the conquerors. Even when you go to the hieroglyphics in Kemet, no, I haven't been, but I do know here, if you go to Chicago, to the Museum of Science and Industry, where they have the famous Egyptian display, and with the reading that I've done, and you put, you know, 2 and 2 together, you can figure the math out. You can look at what looks like you and what don't. As conquerorship took place, the inscriptions of the hieroglyphs got lighter and lighter, meaning that they sanded it down, meaning that they took our names out and put theirs in. Even when you had some black pharaohs, kings and queens of Egypt, who erased their predecessors' legacy out of the whole cartouche. I'm just saying. That is evil. That is self-hate. Another thing I found out is that black on black crime has been taking place before the white man even showed up. Black on black crime started in Africa when we were warring among ourselves, having problems among ourselves over land, and the whole continent was ours, but we're still arguing over it. Stupid. How stupid is that? Arguing over your own land, arguing over what you're gonna take from someone that looks just like you in the same country that you in, when the land is for all. You know why? People have personal agendas versus looking at the prosperity and future for generations to come. A lot of African, meaning Egyptian kings and queens, some of them were not for the country. Some of them were for their own selves. And then they made themselves the Jesus or Moses or Muhammad, meaning the intercessor for you to the gods. Like I said, throw all of the religion away. If you throw all of the religion away, maybe you'll get somewhere. Especially you Hebrews. I'm going to say that again. Especially you Hebrews. Hebrews have the audacity to say that they built the pyramids. The pyramids were already built when the Hebrews got there. I'm going to say that again. The pyramids were already built when the Hebrews got to Kemet. When Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, all of these vagabonds, okay? All of these sand wanderers who didn't have a place to go, who was out there starving, begged Egypt for food. They didn't build no pyramids, and didn't no Anunnaki build the pyramids. You will have to stop doing that and give your own black self and legacy some credit for building those pyramids. Didn't nobody build them but someone that looked like you and me, our great ancestors, who did what? Who made the great cities of Napata, who made the great cities of Meroe. Cities that you've never heard of, because they don't teach you about them, and you don't care to learn about them. Sad, but true. This is why you're confused right now. You have no self-identity. Many of us don't. Many black people don't have a self-identity. They don't call themselves Africans or Native Americans. And yes, I say Native Americans because some black people were already here. Don't let them lie to you and say that all black people came from over there in Africa. Some of us was already here. Do you know how many boats that they would have had to bring all of us over here? Now just think, 100 million of us already died in the Middle Passage. That's 100 million. Some people talk about there's 6 million. We're talking about 100 million. They don't teach you about that in school. And how 100 million of us died going from Africa through the Atlantic Ocean to over here. You know, and in between, the Caribbean, South America, all of that there. Spreaded us all around. But some of us was already here. When you go over to Mexico, if you haven't been to Mexico, you need to go to Mexico. Go check out those big headstones of the Nagas. Go check out those pyramids that was built then. They're right over in Mexico. I'm just saying. And if you want to tell me that some Indians, the $5 Indians did this, who do you think they got their culture from? Where do you think they got the drum from? Where do you think they got their makeup paint from? Where do you think they got their necklaces for adornments and their ankles and doing all of those crazy dances that you think is crazy? Where do you think they get those from? Those cultures from? Those dancing moves from? Those boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Where do you think they got that from? In fact about it, when Caucasians brought black people over here, the first thing that they got rid of was the drum. That's the first thing they got rid of from you, was your drum. The drum plays an important role in your rhythm. The drum plays an important role in your militancy, in your own manly, masculine spirit. And they took that from you. Like they took your nuts from you. They took all your Weibos, okay? And some of us, they made eunuchs. Caucasians did this to us. The Arabs did it to us. But we also did it to ourselves. We let them in. We let them come in. White people, Arabs, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Assyrians, whomever came in to invade us, they always came in peace. Bringing us a gift, bringing us some new religion, bringing us some sacrificial cultures of lambs, which we already did way before they brought us this religion. It's so funny how Christianity, well, I mean, how many thousands of years have we talked about already? We've been fighting this war for thousands of years, and we've been losing for thousands of years, basically because of our own selves. Let's get that straight. We the reason why Africa has been invaded the way that it has been invaded. It was black people's fault. We trusted everybody. We was too naive to think that they would not invade us with iron. When we had iron and knew the smelting process, we knew that all along. But the priest who was so selfish in education didn't teach the people. Didn't teach the people. Only people in high positions knew how to smelt iron and before we were invaded. And they knew that we had invaders all along, yet and still, we did nothing to protect ourselves. On an advanced level, we had built such an advanced civilization as people. Everybody had what we wanted. You see these palm trees behind me? Do you know where these palm trees come from? Yes, I'm in America. But these palm trees right here, they weren't in the state that I'm in right now. These trees were brought over here through migrations. I'm just saying. When you look at Games of Thrones and you look at all of these TV programs of Rome, and they have all of these palm trees and Egyptian settings and style and design of houses, they got that from us. When they came to invade Napata, when they came to invade Nero, we already had streets of palaces with palm trees, and it was so peaceful. Even Alexander the Greek said that we were a peaceful people, and he could not believe the paradise streets that we were living on. Black people had a high advanced civilization. And like I said, they scratched our name out and put their name on it. They didn't make nothing. They didn't make nothing. We already made it. Now, for all of that which we did make, even like this internet, who created the internet? The black man created the internet. And what did he do? He sold it. Didn't even think about the future generations for people who look like him. Even in Africa with royal families, you had your own black people who helped the enemy invade their own country. I'm gonna say that again. I know y'all hate this video. I know y'all black people hating this video, at least when you see it. Because I only got like, what, 2 people in here. But whoever you 2 people are, I want to thank you for being in the HOUSE, getting some real science. Because black people don't want to hear this. White people already know it. Ain't that something? Black people don't want to hear it. White people already know it. And black people wonder why they are in the condition that they are in today. They consistently make the same mistake over and over and over and over and over and over again, not learning the mistakes that their predecessors had made in history. Even with integration. Back then, Africans were integrating after they were conquered. They didn't have a choice. Or they would continue to run south, further into Sudan. But needless to say, intermarriages with the enemy for royal kinsmanship to take over, you know. Everywhere you have people settling in, they're going to take over. Prime example of this would be in Chicago right now. Especially on the west side of Chicago. If you are a Chicagoan and you stay on the west side of Chicago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right now, a lot of immigrants have came into Chicago. These immigrants are settling in your neighborhood, just as they settled in Africa. And slowly, wave after wave, year after year, you really won't even notice it. Until then, you see, you've been invaded and there's nothing you can do about it because you've almost outnumbered. And the people that have settled and are working to invade, they are working just for that purpose as a people. Overtly, covertly. And that's the same thing that happened with the invasions of Africa. They were covertly, many of them were covertly. Like I said, when Africans were so nice enough or naive enough to allow people to settle in on their coast, in their land, because they had nowhere to go because they were starving out there, you goddamn Hebrews. Y'all was starving out there. And then you're going to try to take what is or what was, or you're going to try to claim. There's no claiming. You was already starving out there. And another thing, you Hebrews say that Abraham is your father. Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, all of that, right? Abraham's wife was a Hebrew, Sarah, right? But his handsmaid, his maid was an Egyptian. She wasn't Muslim. She didn't come from Iraq, Iran. No, she didn't come from Mecca. No. She was an Egyptian lady. She was probably a Muslim, seeing that Muslims did conquer that area from time to time, or had some Muslim influence. But how did Ishmael become a Muslim of Iran, of Iraq, of Mecca, Saudi Arabia? How did he become the owner of that when he was born in Egypt? He wasn't born Allahu Akbar. I'm just saying. How do you understand? The Jews, after the Greeks and the Romans, the Greeks had a 300 light year rule and the Romans had like a 700-year rule. The dark ages of black civilization. After they took over and they had got the land that they wanted, like, we're running this part here, y'all can come in and run the rest of that y'all want to. We taking all these people's shit. Pardon the language, but that's what happened. And them Caucasians settled on that land and they stayed there. Way before the Conference of Berlin. The Conference of Berlin was happening before the Conference of Berlin even existed. How about that? 100. I don't know, we only got 2 people in here, but I thank y'all 2 people, whoever you are. I want to thank you. You don't have to say nothing, I see you. And I want to thank you. But needless to say, all of this has been going on for history. And as far as the flood is concerned, what flood? What flood? What flood in Egypt? The only flood in Egypt that took place was the invasions of Egypt. The invasion of black civilization. The flood that wiped you out, meaning the wars and the conquest of your land. That was the flood. There's no such thing that waters, God sent waters and it flooded the whole. No, man. No, man. And even if you say, yeah, and you still want to be caught up on the religious nonsense, when the flood occurred, during the time that you all say that it occurred, I'm talking about my Bible thumpers, I'm talking about my Egyptians, my Hebrews and my Jews and Muslims. Because all of them said it was a flood. Because all of them got them books from the Jews. It's like 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, and Eminem. Straight up. That's what Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is. Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, and Eminem. Needless to say, that's how they took over Africa, with the help of our assistance. You see that? With our assistance. As I stated, you had African kings that helped the invaders to destroy us because there was something in it for their family. Not for the whole of people, but you had some chiefs and some kings in Africa that got Lower and Upper Egypt back together again, like Menes and Pianki. They brought the country back together, Lower and Upper Egypt, and got Africa back together damn near as a whole, as a continent, to keep the invaders out. As long as we were divided, the invaders had a chance. This is why they did what they did. And we're still divided today. In fact about it, without having a knowledge of yourself, without having any self-identity, without having any culture, you don't even exist. They're going to be asking you next, where did you come from? When you are the father of civilization, black man, black lady, 100. If there was no black people on the earth, there would be no white people on the earth. I'm just saying, that's not even up for debate. That's not even up for debate. And I don't care what school of thought you come from. Even the Jews know that. Huh? And it got so bad that it got to a point whereas the Caucasians said, okay, we're going to take control of this part of the land and we're going to let the Arabs finish them off. Yeah. By the time the Arabs, or when the Arabs are expected, see, the Arabs have been invading or have been in control of Kemet, of Egypt, for over 1,400 years. That's 14 centuries of wiping your history out, of wiping you out, wiping your language out, wiping your culture out, claiming it as their own. They didn't come with nothing. They came with nothing. Let's get that right. They came with nothing. And they say that God, Allah, sanctioned them to take our stuff, to take our land, to take our women, to rape them, to murder them. God made that happen. Allah. That's what they say, Allahu Akbar, right? Yes. Don't tell me about Islam. You're talking to the wrong person. Don't tell me about Islam. Don't tell me about Christianity. Don't tell me about Judaism. You're talking to the wrong person. But I warm you up, you know, and then quickly eat you up and have you over there by a garbage can so they can pick you up with the rest of the garbage. Black History 101. Know thyself. Black people don't want to hear it. I need you all to share this video. I don't care if you black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, whoever you are, wherever you come from. If you're into black history, go and, you know, listen to those audio books, or just go get the book itself. That's where you start at. That will eliminate a lot of headaches for you in the process of research or getting information that you want to know about yourself. That is the first book that I would ever tell anybody to read if they wanted to know about themselves. The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams is an amazing start for you to start learning about yourself and what happened to you and your people. But like I said, we'll have those demonstrations out. The destruction of black civilization, part 5 and part 6. One will be up later tonight, and then we'll have another one up on Saturday, which is part 6 and 7. Yeah. Part 6 and 7 will be one part. Part 6 and part 7 will be one part. And that will go on part 6, okay? So when I get to part 8, I will already be in the 8th chapter of the book. That means we're very close to being done. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Remember, Black on, Black History 101. Sorry, getting tongue twisted. I'm tired. But, you see the shirt there? Cop one of those shirts. We have them in all different designs. I'm just going to be wearing them along so you all can get to see. And if you want to check out what the other shirts look like, go over to my other channel, The Mo Show Chicago, TheMoshow Chicago, here on YOUTUBE. Go to the live section of those pages and you'll see some of the other shirts. But what I'll do is I will just do a video commercial of the shirts, and that'll be that, and I have them on both channels. And if you want to support the channels, you can do so by purchasing the shirt. That simple. And we would really appreciate if you all, donate, cash app to us, whatever you can, because we're trying to keep this channel going. Some people don't want to see my channel exist. Some people don't want to see my channel exist. In fact about it, remember I was just telling you about how black people were divided against themselves and how they let the enemy in? There's some people on YouTube that I have sponsored, meaning that I have gave to them. I have brought merchandise from them, and I can't get no help from them, but they are the very same person talking about black power, talking about black unity, talking about go over to my other page, go over here and get that smoke, go get this smoke. I ask for some direction and some help, and I'm always watching my brother videos from out there in Detroit, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I need some help. I asked the brother, I ain't even heard from the brother. And I done brought shirts from the brother, and I can't even get an answer from him. That's some Cracker Jack nigger shit. Another brother out there in Ohio sponsored the brother, tried to help him how I could. I can't even get no help from the brother. I'm not gonna call their names out, and I hope they get to see the video too. Just remember, I asked for your help. Just remember, I asked for your help. So the next time I hear you out here talking about black power, black consciousness, black people need to help each other, I'm gonna get on you. I'm gonna get on you. You got that coming from me. Then I'll probably be, blocked on this chat. But I tell you, back to the Black History 101. Yeah. If you want to understand how black people ended up the way that they did, or how their history evolved from kings and queens to slaves to gangbangers to dope fiends to criminals, you have to watch that series, The Destruction of Black Civilization. Thanks for viewing, you all. On your way out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like and the share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come to contact with. It is a magnificent sunny day on how to start your conversation. Black History 101, the rise and fall of black people. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Never give up on your DREAMS.